Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful draped back cowl neck gown with a high neck, as you can see right there on the thumbnail, and here on the video you can see it's draping exactly the way it is right there on the thumbnail. So I'll be teaching you the tips and tricks to sewing this simple draped cowl gown the way it is right there. You can use it as a gown. You can also make a top with it if you actually want. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial. Please don't forget to like, share this video, subscribe to my channel if this is your first time joining us. So please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. The first thing we are going to do, the part that has the cowl on the back, we need to draft your basic bodice pattern like this. So for me, I've already drafted my basic bodice pattern. This is my shoulder for my basic bodice. My neckline is 1 inch and I connected it to 3 inches width of my neckline. This is the center back, this is the chest line, and this is the back length. So let me call it the waist. So the measurement of my waist is the same. It's going to be the same for the front. So here my front waist is 17 and my back waist is also 17. So whatever your front waist is, still have it the same as the back. So what I just drafted here is the back basic body, because that is where we have the cowl effect. So the first thing I'm going to do now, there is no dart to this, as you can see. So the fabric we are going to use is going to be a stretchy fabric, so you have it to the body. So from the neckline, I'm going to divide what I have for the cowl effect. I'm going to divide the cowl effect into 4. So here I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then I'll come over from the chest line. I'm also going to divide the cowl effect I have on the chest line by 4. So here I have 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. So now I'm going to start connecting the effect of the neckline. Okay, so it depends on how you want it to fall. So now we are going to start connecting this from here, from the neckline here. The first fall, I'm going to have it fall to the center back. The second fall, I'll have it follow this line to where I have number 1. The second fall, we follow the line and come and meet number 2. The other one will come and meet this one, and the last one will come and meet this one. So that is how we have the sections, the 4 sections of the cowl. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out what I have on this pattern, because we are going to slash and spread to have the effect of the cowl. I just cut this. Just what I'm cutting here is the shape of the back. So if you want to go ahead and make it a straight gown, let us say you want it straight, with the COWL effect. That you don't want to start joining this. So you have to open up your pattern the way I open it up. So let me just open it up and show you what you are going to do. So what you are going to do is open up your pattern this way. My waist was 17. I'll come over to my hip and I'll have this paper to be the full length of the dress. So to have a straight line, I'll mark another 17. So this would another 29. So this will make it easy for us to place it on fabric, because the fabric is actually a lycra fabric and it stretches that much. So I would just want to do everything here. So I'll just go ahead and place my hip circumference, divide by 4. So this is my hip circumference divided by 4. I'll go ahead and connect it. So what I'm making here now is a direct gown. So the gown is going to be straight. Then on the hem, if you want to make it pencil, this is 12. Just take away 1.5 or 2 inches. So if I take away 1.5 inches, I'll have 10.5 to make it pencil. But I don't want to make mine pencil, so I'll just take away 1 inch. Instead of 12, marking 12 inches, I'll take away 1. I don't want it too penciled. So if I take away 1, this is what I'm going to have at the end of the day. So it's a little bit penciled, okay? So just do what you desire to work with. So the main purpose of this tutorial is the COWL. So I'll go ahead and cut off the center. And I'll go by the shape. So for the front dress, I will cut it on fabric. So it's the back one that is the main purpose of the tutorial. So I will start cutting because I'm going to slash them and spread them. So if you are cutting, please don't cut to the neckline. This is how we slash them. So we'll be able to have the COWL effect. Can you see? So that is how we are going to slash it this way. So if you see, you can see we still have our neckline. We still have our shoulder and the neckline. So I'll bring another paper now, so we arrange it very well. So you can see we have a continuation of what we have on the waistline. So right now I'm going to bring in my plain pattern paper. So I'll spread it on my paper right here. So I've slashed and spread, but I'm going to explain to you what I did here. I'm sorry, I don't have enough pepper right here for this slash and spread. So if you notice, you can see this part, I did not place any pepper on it, but I'm going to explain to you what I did right here. So this is the armhole. When I slashed it, you can see the curve I have here for the shoulder seam line and for the neckline. Then this is that center back area. So the center back area before we started slashing. So I opened up at 4 inches. So I'll show you how I did that, starting from the waistline. This is my waistline. I placed my tape right here. I measured 4 inches, although I mistakenly shifted it to this part, so it's supposed to be at 4 inches. Please take note of that. And here I measured again 4 inches, so you can see where I have my mark and placed the third one. I measured 4 inches with my adhesive. I'm using my uhu gum to do that. You can use your seal tape as well. So what I'm explaining here is that my slash and spread is at 4 inches interval. 4 inches interval. I also measured 4 inches from here to here interval. So what we are going to do now, this part is the center back. We did not slash on it to the neckline. So now from the waistline, I'm going to measure another 4 inches towards this area. From this center back, I'll measure 4 inches. So once I measure the 4 inches, I'll start curving. I will start curving, because if you look at this, you can see it's curvy. Okay, so I'll just do this curve. I'll make it touch. It might touch or might not touch, but just follow how my line is going. Okay, so I'll just follow that line. Sorry, I don't have enough pepper for this. So I'll just blend it. It might not be up to that 4 inches, so I'll just blend it. So I'm going to cut out what I have now. So I'll first of all go into the neckline. This is the neckline. When we got here, we now had our shoulder seam line where we slashed. I believe you remember. So for this part, which is the center back, I'll take it straight. So we are going to add our seam allowance there. Then I'm going to do what? Place this curve. So this curve has to be rounded anyway. So I might not follow the lines I just made. Just round it up this way. I believe you understand. So just round it up this way. Even if there are some little inches that went in, there's no problem about that. I just want to get it round. Can you see? I just want to get it from here straight, which is the shoulder seam line. So once we get here, we'll just round it up. So you can see that you will round it up till you get to the hip line. So I'm going to place this on my pattern right now, and I'm going to cut it out. So right now you can see what I have right here. So I just want to explain what we'll have on the whole picture of this gown, as you can see here. So here is the armhole area. I added 0.5 inch. From here to here is where we'll have our shoulder seam. I created a notch right here for joining. Here is my back neckline, and this is the center back area before we have the fall. So the fall will start from here at 0.5 all around, but because I did not have enough pepper, so I just rounded it up all around to the waist. So from the waistline, I added 0.5 inch this way, and I extended the length of my gown because it's short at this length on paper. Then I added 1 inch on the side for my seam allowance. So this is what you are supposed to have right now. So we'll go over to the table and we are going to join. I have 2 pieces of it here. So here is the center back. I'm going to join the whole of this center back till I get to the neckline. Then we'll join this part to the front. So let us do that. So I want to go over to the machine to start joining. So like I earlier said, I'm going to join from the center back. So here is the center back area, and what I have here, you can see the notch I made for the neckline before the shoulder seam line to the armhole. So my joining will start from here. This is the center back of the neckline, then this is the fold. So I will take it all the way to the down part. Let me do that. All right, so I'm done joining right now. So like I said, I have to start this joining all the way from the center back. So this is the center back area before we started slashing. So I stitched at 0.5. Okay, this is the neckline and this is the shoulder seam. So you can see I stitched to this point, and I have to stitch up to the rounded part. Then I continued my stitching to the waistline, and then I took it to the center back all the way to the hem. So now, like I said, I have two pieces of them. This is the armhole, so I'll just open the dress up. Can you see? So by the time you open the dress up, you have that fold. So now I'm going to join the front piece. So I want to cut out the front piece. So to cut out the front piece is actually easy to cut. So I'll just put my fabric on fold. So what I'm cutting is normal cutting. Just take your necessary measurements of your hip, your waist, and then add your seam allowances. So here I've placed my fabric on fold. The front is going to be on fold. Then I'll start marking out what I have on my measurements. So on the fabric, I'm going to measure my vertical measurement. So my vertical measurement is going to range from the shoulder to the hem. So I will use what I have here as my border line, although this fabric, you need to be careful. So even if you are seeing what I'm doing or not, just follow the lines I have on my hand. So here I'm going to measure my chest line. So this is my chest line. I'll measure after my chest line, I'm going to measure my waist. So this is my waist. After my waist is my hip, which is 29. After my hip is the length of this dress, which is 46. So I'm working with 46 as the length of the dress. So I'll come back to the neckline to measure my neckline for the front. So the neckline for the front, I'm using 3 by 3. So I'll go ahead and from the border line, I'll measure 3 inches by depth, 3 inches by width, and I will create my neckline. Then after that, I'm going to measure my shoulder, divide by 2, which is 7.5, add half an inch for seam allowance. So from there, I'll drop my shoulder by 1 inch. I'm going to connect it the way we usually do. So I'll just connect. Then I'll come to the chest line. I'm going to measure my shoulder, divide by 2 plus half an inch. Then I'm going to measure my bust circumference, divide by 2 plus 1 inch for seam allowance. So I will mark. So I'll just go ahead and connect this to this. Then for the armhole, I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole. So from here to here is 8 inches, half of it will give us 4.5. Then from there I'll go in by 3/4, and then I'll connect it to the tip of the shoulder like this. So you might not be seeing what I'm doing, but I know you are following the lines of my hands. So I'll go ahead and connect this. From here I'll connect it for my armhole. So after connecting the armhole, I already have my allowance for my seam allowance. So I'll come to my waist and take the measurement of my waist at 9.5. Add the seam allowance of 1 inch. So once I've done that, I'll come in with my ruler like this and connect everything this way. Then I'll come over to my hip. I'll take my hip circumference, divide by 2 and add 1 inch. So I have 12 plus 1 inch for seam allowance will give me 13. So I'll keep my ruler from the waist to the hip and connect. So after that, I'll come all the way to the end of this and take away the 1 inch which I did on the pattern. So there I have 13, here I'll mark 12. So I'm going to connect that 12 to the 13 I have up like this. Can you see that? So now we'll start to cut out what we have on the dress. So I'm seeing all the lines I just made. So I will start cutting from the armhole because we've added the seam allowance of 8 inches already. Okay. Then I'll cut from the side to the waist to the hip. So I'll cut it all the way from there. I'm taking it all the way to the hem. And there on the hem, I'll just cut it out this way. Can you see that? So I'll come over here. I'll take my shoulder seam line and I'll go to my neckline like this. Can you see? So we are done. That is the front dress. It's very easy. So I will bring the back pattern. So I'll bring in my front dress right now, which I've cut, and I'm going to match it normal front, the way we match neckline. So here is my neckline for the front and the shoulder seam line. I'll pick it up right side to the right side. I'll come over to the notch I made, which is the neckline for my back. I'll place it from this notch on the shoulder seam line. So I'll go over to the machine now. I'm going to sew the shoulder seam line. I'll also match my neckline, okay, to the shoulder seam line. So I'll stitch right now. Then this is the armhole, as you can see. So I'll now go ahead and stitch the sides. Let me do that. So now we want to join the neckline. So you are going to pick up the neckline like I demonstrated for the back piece. So this notch is very important. I keep emphasizing on this notch. If you look at this part, you can see that is where I started stitching, which is my center back, and this is the neckline to the notch. So I'm joining the shoulder seam line from here to here, okay, which is curvy because of the slash and spread. So I will bring the front piece right now, and I'm going to place the front piece right side to right side. So I'll pick it up from that notch and place the neckline for the front from that point. So I'll go ahead and stitch at 0.5. I'll drop my presser foot there. So as I'm sewing, the back is a little curvy, so you just sew it into the straight front piece. So you can see how I'm placing it. So I'll just sew it to the 0.5 to the armhole. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the back as well. So I'm going to, for the other side, then I'll close up the sides of the dress. So I'm done sewing the shoulder seam lines, and I've also sewn the sides of the dress. So you can see the drapes I have right there. So if you use a less light lycra fabric, the drapes will not be that much, but if you use a light one like the one I use, you have. So I've attached my sleeve to the dress, as you can see. So we are done with this project. So I believe you learned a lot from this class. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.